G'day viewers, long time no video. Today I'm showing off the new patch for Voxel Turf. It introduces these things. It begins with a P and ends in lanes. That's right, it's planes. So there's two variants of planes, a CDF variant and a lovely red variant here with nice tipped red ends here. So these planes have a support building where they spawn naturally called the airfield. Here we are, air transport. If you head in here through this open boom gate, there's a support building there which this gentleman's trying to get inside of. And there's a aircraft control tower. And if you go through this gate, there's a lovely plane waiting here on the runway. So, something new added to the game, in addition to this vehicle, is that when you press the I button, it will show you the controls. So I've got weapon selected, so it shows me the weapon controls. If you go to a block, it will show you construction controls, so how to hold V and transform blocks. And if you hold the V button, it changes it, and if you right click, it rotates them. So all that information now is communicated to you if you press the I button. And if you start the game for the first time, these things will automatically come up by themselves. And if you've got nothing selected, it will show you WASD to walk, left shift to sprint, crouch, click to use item, you know, all that lovely stuff. So before we get into the plane, I'm going to blow up this. Look at that guy there. Alright, let's get into the plane. So when you're in the plane, you can press A and D to rotate it when you're on the tarmac and put a little bit of power into the throttle in order to get to move forward. Now to throttle up, you hold space. You want to get some speed. You want to be on a hard surface like concrete or bitumen. You don't want to take off on grass because then you might hit the grass with your tail and damage your plane. So the plane can remove blocks if it hits something, and the plane will take damage. And if the plane takes too much damage, it will blow up. So I'm just flying around. S is to pitch up, W is to pitch down, D and A are to roll. When you're making a turn, you want to roll with D, but you will lose some altitude, so you want to pitch up with S as well. And if you turn too quickly, you'll lose airspeed and lose altitude and arm under attack. Damn it! Oh jeez. Okay. We have a little bit of fire, but I reckon we'll be okay. We've got 11 HP, but it's only the last hit point that really matters, doesn't it? So I'm going to show you guys how to land. You want to reduce your altitude, you want to reduce your throttle to about 50%. Pitch down. You bastard! Shot me down! Where are the buggers? And there's that bloody bandit. Oh, it's not a bandit base, it's a faction base. Bloody faction base over there. I died from falling. Oh, that's embarrassing. Oh, this ambulance would have come in handy. It wouldn't have come in handy, but you know. Okay, let's try it again. Let's try it again. So now we're coming into land again. Reducing the throttle to 50%. Coming at a slight angle, but I reckon we'll be okay. Pitch up. Throttle down to 0. Well, we did bounce a bit, but we're fine. We didn't damage the runway. We'll take damage ourselves. And yeah, that's how you land. Cool. Now I'm going to show you guys what happens when your plane hits something. So let's get up to speed and take off again. Get to maximum speed. And gently pitch up. And you can aggressively pitch up once you're off the ground. Let's fly into the center of the city. Keep getting altitude. Should be some buildings appearing. Yep. We're going to fly into that orange building there. So if you want to crash your plane into something, what you want to do is get some altitude and then nose down so you get additional speed. Because the damage you'll do to a building will be proportional to your speed. So what I've done there is, oh dear, the plans and pieces. I made an entrance to the building. Unfortunately, I'm not in a position to take advantage of that entrance. So I'll just... Yeah, that's something I added in a patch a little while ago. Yeah. So you can enter buildings using planes, or you can just break the glass and enter it like that if you choose to. You know, just some new fun options for you to try. Let's go in here and inspect the damage. Oh no, it broke some glass. So yeah, if I came into the building with a bit more speed, I probably would have done a bit more damage. And also you've got to be lucky with how the blocks collide. You know, if you hit the concrete first, then the plane will take damage from the concrete and maybe not blow up the glass. Doesn't matter. I have actually managed to get a plane and penetrate right into the building. So it's really cool when that happens. So you may be wondering, what happens if you don't have enough money to buy an airfield? Because they don't spawn naturally in cities because they're very big. And I haven't bothered to write the code to make them spawn because I'm a very lazy person. Well, there's a variant of the airfield which is a bandit base, which I've used a console command to purchase so the guys won't shoot me when I'm showing you guys it. So there's two entrances. You can enter through the hangar, where a plane will be waiting for you to take away. You can use this clay surface as a runway. When you're taking off a plane, you need a hard surface because otherwise you might take damage from the tail striking the ground, or you know, the wheels bouncing into the ground as you're taking off. This is the front entrance with you know, some bandits spawning. They're friendly to me. There's more than 5. That's interesting. Probably because I repaired the lot and it reset the counter. But yeah, this is where the bandits spawn. There's a little hut there with some chests in which you can steal things from. There's one of these things. It does that when you blow it up. And here's access to the hangar. You can get into the hangar like that. Or you can use a door like a normal person, but let's face it, we're playing voxel games, so we're not completely normal. And yeah, that's the bandit airfield. So I've also done some work on map generation. VT server can now accept a command line input which allows it to read a bitmap file as a height map. So here I've used a bitmap to generate a map of the world, which will be used for the next multiplayer Let's Build server. As you can see here, here's bits of Indonesia. This is a spawn area in North Africa. It's near Tobruk. This is Sicily in Italy, and here's Greece. So you can see how these maps turn out once you get the numbers right. You can also now put your maps as mods on Steam and use them to start new games. So I'll show you guys how to do that. What you want to do is, let's go to Voxel Turf, let's go to Save Games, pick a small map, Game 0, that's very small. Don't even know what that is. Airfield construction, yeah, you can see what I do to make things. So what you do is just grab these files, hit copy, and you want to make a mod. You go to mods, you go new folder, you go your mod's name, which will be mod name, lovely spelling, type in the maps because you want it to be a map, paste the files, and now the files have been copied. So you can go in here, and it's good, it's ready to go. You can now use this as a map. However, if you're trying to upload this map to Steam, if you go in this folder, you'll see there's like a gazillion files in here, and the Steam mod uploader will have troubles with this. So what you can do is you can zip it. So you go 7-zip. You want to make a zip file, add to world0.zip. Yep, you make a zip file, you can now delete this, it's superfluous. And it won't, you need to get rid of that folder, otherwise you can't upload it to Steam. And now you've got a map mod. So how does this work in principles? Let's start up the game again. So now the game's finally started up. You can go single player, set the game mode. I recommend Turf 0 for existing maps. And it's not there. Why isn't it there? No, it is here. Airfield construction. Now I recommend Turf 0 because Turf mode requires a city. So unless you've got a city already built, the game mode won't work. So yeah, you start the server. The server will automatically unzip world0.zip. And boom, that map file is... Oh, hello, what's this over here? Is now, something you can use to start games. You can now share maps in a workshop. So what about that big ass world map I'm going to be using for the multiplayer server? So let's just load it up and have a look at it. Yeah, we're in North Africa. It's a spawn point, there's a gun shop and a jewelry shop so you can buy weapons and sell your loot, and there's a general store here so you can buy health files, and a hovercraft place so you can get hovercrafts, and a boat place so you can get boats, and a block place so you can get blocks, and a park so, well, you can't get anything from the park, but it's a fort that counts. And there's an airfield here which is actually pretty good because yeah, you probably want to fly your plane to get around this absolutely humongous map, which is humongous. I mean, it's 16 kilometers, so it's the maximum Z coordinate is 8,000 and the minimum Z coordinate is negative 8,000. So 16 kilometers in width and 8 kilometers in height. This map is absolutely huge. Now, I've given the Sahara Desert, well, most of it, you want some clear space near the coast so you can build things. I've given it to a player called Wasteland because multiplayer maps tend to get very cluttered around the spawn. You get people putting skyscrapers near the spawn point, and when you're trying to log into the server on a low-end machine or a bad internet connection like most of Australia, then it can be a struggle to log into the server. So putting some natural barriers here, such as the Mediterranean Sea and the Wasteland player, will hopefully keep the clutter down a bit. Besides, this area here being open should allow some interesting gameplay, hopefully. So guys, let's really have to show off how well Greece has turned out. So here's Crete, and there's Rhodos with a certain thing that's returned to Rhodos. There's Cyprus over there in the distance. Turkey has become pretty hilly. What I've done is I've taken altitude and turned the high areas into hills lots. So because hills lots you get water, you might get pockets of water inland, which is okay. So you may be thinking that this is a somewhat small patch, and you'll be correct. I've been busy doing other things as well. Now, some of the big Voxel turf has got two really big problems. One is the name, Voxel turf. Most people don't know what a voxel is, and the people who do think, oh, it's going to be a crappy block game. And then you look at the second problem, which is the presentation of the game, low resolution assets, no bump maps and things. So what I've been doing is I've been working on a new graphics engine. Now this won't be used in Voxel turf because I'm going to be developing a sequel. And the sequel will have, these lovely graphics that you're hopefully looking at if the recording is going well. Yes, it is. So this is my prototype graphics engine. It's running in something called BGFX, which is a wonderful graphics API. What it does is it takes abstracted graphics commands and it will redirect them to either Direct3D if you're working on Windows, or OpenGL, or Vulkan when the guy who makes this gets it working, or Metal if you're playing on a Mac. So what it does, it will automatically find the optimal graphics API for you and it'll run there. So what's in this graphics engine? Now, as you can see, there's shadows. There's a shadow here in the surface and the water. I've got water bump maps working. I've got reflections working. So there's light reflecting off the water here. You can see reflecting light on the balls here. And if you get the camera angle right, you can get you can see reflections of the water in there. And you can get reflections of reflections. No, that's bullshit. You can get reflections of our balls here. And it's a PBR renderer that I've written here. So things got bump map. You can define metallicity and roughness parameters of this. I've also taken this rendering engine and put Voxel turf assets into it. So what I've done is I've taken a Voxel turf map, I've exported it to a .obj file, an object file, and I took the texture atlas from Voxel turf 1. So because Voxel turf 1 hasn't got any bump maps or anything, things will be flat. But you can see there's already massive improvements in the visual quality, even if it's not running particularly quickly on my laptop. If it looks good on high-end machines, it should help attract players to the game. That's it for now, viewers. If you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a sub. I'll be posting new videos whenever a Voxel Turf patch comes out or have pertinent news regarding Turf 2. Catch you guys next time.